Well, after the overwhelmingly positive feedback on my latest video, which was on the Steam Deck as my favorite gaming console, I wanted to make a video covering what I would consider some really awesome games that you should play on the deck, and ones I've personally really enjoyed playing or playing through. There is some variety here, from the indies to big budget AAA games, and you may be able to see that I'm a fan of games from many genres, and so the list is quite diverse. These are in no particular order, and I recommend that you just try any of them, as they are all fantastic in their own right. Risk of Rain 2 was a big hit when it came out in 2019 in early access, and now it's been about 2 years since it revealed its big 1.0 release. In addition to that, the game has received continuous support from the wonderful developers, whose passion does really resonate through every aspect of the game, and an awesome DLC was also released for fans to enjoy the game even more. If you're not familiar with the concept of a roguelike, it's now a genre of games in which the player does runs, in which they can try to attain the most items and longest time in a single run as they can, and each run is completely different to one another due to the randomly generated or RNG mechanics of the game itself. Of course, in Risk of Rain 2, some constants are the survivors you play with, which are so diverse and different from one another and all have their own merit, making each subsequent run even more unique from the last when you factor in the fact that you can try and mix different combinations with different survivors in order to create a combo that is the most effective. It's an absolutely perfect game for the deck, as you can play one run and then hop off, and there's no further obligation really there, and it's a game you can pause and play at any time. It's especially good to get a nice 20-minute run in and then hop off, and it's quite addictive for you to see if you can beat your previous time, which makes the game an absolute blast to play through. Not to mention the amazing level design, superb soundtrack, and overall awesome performance makes it one of the most perfect Steam Deck games. Red Dead Redemption 2 is surely a big AAA game. Being released by Rockstar, it of course looks superb, and I'd say even to this day it still looks like one of the best games out there at the moment. That may beg the question as to how the performance goes for this game, and man, I've got to say it's astonishing how well it really runs. First off, there's so many Reddit posts and YouTube videos showing specific recommendations as to the best settings you can utilize in the game in order to either get the best quality and graphical fidelity while playing or preserve as much battery life as possible. I'm more on the former. I can't really play in very long sessions, so I can bump up the highest settings possible with a 30 FPS cap, making it look so damn good on the most powerful TDP option. The game itself, if you somehow haven't already played it, controls beautifully on the deck and looks so damn good you'll be wondering every time you launch it how it's possible to run a game that looks this good on a portable handheld. It's a very pleasing game and it's super fun to play as well. I've already played it on my PC years ago, and to this day it remains my favorite game of all time due to its enticing characters and plot, beautiful open world, and its immersive yet subtle gameplay mechanics. If you're looking for a huge open world to sink your teeth into, then I can't recommend Red Dead Redemption 2 enough. I'll be honest, I've been kind of off and on with Stardew Valley, and that's because the game is just so expansive, and so I was kind of lost. Recently, in the past week, however, I've really been getting into the game with a friend, and man, it's such a blast to play. It is also such a good game to get a quick 30-minute session in, as the days in the game are split up into small increments of about 10 minutes in real time, and so you can do a few chores in the game, go fishing and talk to the NPCs for example, and then hop off. It's such a core example of the best game on the go, as you can play in such small increments without any other further obligations weighing you down in the game like an RPG or something of that sort would have. It also looks stunning, and it's a really good game if you're looking for a more wholesome and relaxing game, one that doesn't take itself too seriously or do anything that is too demanding of the player. It's just one you can relax, turn off your brain and enjoy your time with, and I think it's such a good fit for the deck as it also runs fantastically, and you can pull over 6 hours of battery life due to how low its power intensity is. So yeah, I highly recommend Stardew Valley, and if you're looking for a game that you can play in small increments and can just be your sort of comfort game, Stardew Valley is definitely the game for you. I think many people watching this list will already know why this is on the list. Much like Risk of Rain 2, it's a roguelike, meaning that you'll be playing the games in several runs, trying to beat your previous record on different stages with a wide variety of different characters and items. My footage doesn't really display how chaotic the runs in this game can get, as it's uncomfortable recording and playing in such a position like I am in this entire video, but it gets quite hectic. The game is super fun to play, and it is easily one of the most addictive games ever. You can get so sucked into beating your previous runtime, collecting the items, upgrading your power-ups, and just slowly making your way through the different levels of the game and making sure that you try out a bunch of different combinations of items and characters. It's also the embodiment of a game that you can play on the go, as the runs are in the perfect time frame where you can pick up the game and play for 15 to 20 minutes minutes and then drop it later, and it's super fun to just play. It may look really simple on the outside, but I assure you that if you give this game a go, you're gonna have an absolute blast, and you will 100% get addicted to the thrill the game's runs give you every time you play the game. And not to mention the fact it's so damn cheap at only $5, making the game an absolute steal for how much content it actually offers. I actually just recently played Mad Max completely on my deck, and I played a lot of that docked as well. The game is so damn underrated, and I can't believe more people aren't speaking about it. First off, the performance is absolutely amazing. You can run this game on default settings with 60 FPS, which pretty much stays consistent the entire time, making this game such an amazingly smooth experience while playing. The main reason I started playing the game is due to me craving more of that Arkham combat style, and Mad Max does it pretty well. It feels a lot slower and methodic than the usual Arkham style, and it feels a bit more calculated as you can also use a gun. There's also perfect parries, dodge rolls, and a few other mechanics that makes the combat here pretty fun. You also have quite low health, and so if you get hit more than a few times consistently, it may be even enough to kill you. And so unlike the Arkham style of combat, you're going to be a little more cautious while playing through this game's combat. The open world is also really fun to roam around, and the wastelands of the game are actually breathtaking to explore either on foot or in your vehicle, which also has its own combat style, which is a big highlight of the game for me as well. If you've been looking for a shorter and more concise open world that doesn't feel too grindy like all the Ubisoft kind of games out there right now, Mad Max is an absolutely perfect game, and it fits so perfectly on the deck as well. Well, those are 5 games that I wanted to recommend for you to try on the Steam Deck, as they all run so wonderfully on the deck and will have their own merits that make them an absolute blast to play on the Steam Deck. I want to make a few more videos highlighting more games I like to play on the deck, and if you're interested, please let me know down below. And again, thank you all for the support on my previous Steam Deck video. Anyway, that's all from me for today's video. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.